Welcome to Too Many Chefs, episode 16, Smoking Meats. And I'm your host, Devious Dave Rose. And today I am joined by the pit master himself, the one and only Nicky J.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Well,
Appreciate it.
thank you for coordinating with your busy schedule to be here, because I know we've been trying to work together to get this going, and we finally were able to put it together. So thank you so much for being here. And as always, let's start off the show by showing our gratitude and appreciation for all those that have chosen to spend their time with us here today. We've got It's the Costanza, Latino Heat, Gabe Rodriguez, First Love, Ryan the Heel, aka Meow Meow, and I'm sure many more will filter in. So today what we're doing is we're talking about smoking meats, something that has been done since time immemorial. So let's start off by going through a little bit of what smoking is. What is smoking meats? It is the process of flavoring, browning, cooking, or preserving, and that is the primary method that our ancestors used to survive the massive ice ages of the past. Food by exposing it to smoke from burning or smoldering material, most often wood. Meat, fish, and even tea are often smoked. In Europe, alder is the traditional smoking wood, but oak is more often used now, and beech to a lesser extent. In North America, hickory, mesquite, oak, pecan, alder, maple, and fruit trees like cherry, apple, and plum are commonly used for smoking. Other biomasses besides wood can be employed, and sometimes they can be used with additional flavoring. In North America, ham and bacon makers smoke their products over burning corn cobs. Peat, even, is burned to dry and smoke the barley malt used to make Scotch whiskey and some beers. Historically, farms in the Western world included a small building termed the smokehouse, where meats could be smoked and stored. This is generally well separated from other buildings, both because of the fire danger and because of the smoke emanations. Now, smoking can be done in 4 ways, normally. Cold smoking, warm smoking, hot smoking, and through the use of liquid smoke. Now, let's get on to the history of smoking meats. And while I do that, let me just change up our images here so that we can go to the appropriate image, obviously. But there are many ways, many examples of this. But the smoking of food basically dates back to the Paleolithic period. And that means the Old Stone Age. So, as simple dwellings lacked chimneys, these structures would probably have become very smoky. And it is supposed that early humans would hang meat up to dry and out of the way of pests, thus accidentally becoming aware that meat was stored in smoky areas acquired a different flavor and was better preserved than meat that was just simply dried out. This process was later combined with pre-curing the food in salt or salty brine, resulting in a remarkably effective preservation process that was adapted and developed by numerous cultures around the world. Until the modern era, smoking was more heavy-duty nature, as the main goal was to preserve the food. Large quantities of salt were used in the curing process, and smoking times were quite long, sometimes involving days of exposure. Now, the advent of modern transportation has made it easier to transport products over long distances, and the need and time for the time and material of intensive heavy salting and smoking has declined. Smoking has become more of a way to flavor than preserve foods. However, it is still used predominantly not only throughout the world, but even in North America to preserve foods. Um, all right, so we've gone through that. That's the history and a brief history of smoking foods. You can jump in at any point, Nikki, if you want to add anything. Um, but I was planning to now move on to the different types of smoking.
Cool.
So before we do, I just wanted to quickly show that screenshot here, which is in Nairobi, Africa. I believe it was Nairobi, where these methods of smoking still exist today. And these are methods that our ancestors used, where you would build up a slow and low fire to create the smoke necessary, and especially when you would be knowledgeable of the types of trees that you were using. This isn't a uniquely North American thing. And these would help, not only preserve, but also flavor the meats in a specific way. So now
You know what's kind of
yes.
remarkable about this picture is the same kind of smoking in a way was done in North America and in Alaska by Indians.
Well,
They had it in an open pit
Mhm.
over the fire the same way.
Well, it's so ubiquitous, Nikki,
Hmm.
that it's the most basic of things for a human being. It seems
Hmm.
that again, just like fire, it's not like it started in one spot on Earth.
Right.
Humans just naturally were able to figure out how to make fire, and the same thing comes with smoking meats. Somehow, some way, ancient humans realized that smoking meats not only provided great flavor but preserved the meat, and it became a way to survive. Sometimes times of plagues or droughts or failed crops and shit.
Right. That was one of the main reasons that they started doing it too, because actually before smoking came around, a lot of people dry aged it. A lot of places dry aged it
I want to get into
to
that. I don't
preserve
want to. I
it.
don't want to jump into that. I want to get into that in a moment. Okay, that's something I definitely want you to address. But yeah, the dry aging is definitely something that is something that needs to be addressed. So
Hmm.
let's go into the different types of methods of smoking. So cold smoking. I'm going to show this image here right now on the screen. Differs from hot smoking in that the foods remains raw rather than cooked throughout the entire smoking process. Smokehouse temperatures for cold smoking are typically done about 20 to 30 Celsius, which is between 68 and 86 Fahrenheit. In this temperature range, foods take on a smoked flavor but remain relatively moist. Cold smoking does not cook foods, and as such, meats should be fully cured before cold smoking. Cold smoking can be used as a flavor enhancer for some items such as cheese or nuts, along with meats such as chicken breasts, beef, pork chops, salmon, scallops, and steak. The item is often hung in a dry environment first to develop a pellicle, and it can be cold smoked up to several days to ensure it absorbs the smoke flavor. Some cold smoked foods are baked, grilled, steamed, roasted, or sauteed before eating. Cold smoking meats is not something that should be attempted at home, according to the U.S. National Center for Food Preservation. And yeah, there's some sort of
I've
warning about
never, honestly, I've never heard of cold smoking
never. Okay.
before. That's weird.
Well, it seems like something that makes sense because you want to infuse a smoky flavor, but you don't want to fully cook it because you want to do that at some later point. So you would do it so
Right.
low that you would still infuse that smoky flavor and potentially preserve the meat, but not necessarily have to cook it immediately. Now, that's the image that I'm showing right now. Let's move on to the next one here if I've got it. Hold on a second here. Uh, Okay, let's continue. Warm smoking, the only thing that Wikipedia has on it is warm smoking exposes food to temperatures of 25 to 40 Celsius, which is 77 to 104 Fahrenheit. Quite replete with knowledge there, Wikipedia. Now, hot smoking. Hot smoking exposes the foods to smoke and heat in a controlled environment such as a smoker, oven, or smokehouse. That's basically what we're going to be talking about today. Hot smoking requires the use of a smoker which generates heat either through a charcoal base, a heated element within the smoker, or from a stove top or oven. Food is hot smoked by cooking and flavored with wood smoke simultaneously. Like cold smoking, the item must be hung first to develop the pellicle. It is smoked for 1 hour to as long as 24 hours. Although food that has been hot smoked is often reheated and further cooked, they are typically safe to eat without further cooking. Hams and ham hocks are fully cooked once they are properly smoked, and they can be eaten as is without any further preparation. Hot smoking usually occurs within the range of 52 to 80 centigrade, which is about 126 to 176 Fahrenheit. When food is smoked within this temperature range, foods are fully cooked, moist, and flavorful. If the smoker is allowed to get hotter than 85 Celsius, which is more than 185 Fahrenheit, the foods can shrink excessively, buckle, or even split. Smoking at high temperatures also reduces yield as both moisture and fat are cooked away. That obviously makes perfect sense. Simple logic. Any comments on hot smoking, which is obviously what we're going to be talking about?
No, you're covering it at all, really. The one thing I never did though, they said that you're supposed to hang your meat.
Well, in some
for a certain amount of time.
In some methods, yes. In some types of smokers, even with the preparation, the curing prior, they.
Yeah, prior to smoking it. I wonder what that does.
Well, it apparently enhances the flavor and keeps that moisture in. But the next one is liquid smoke, and again, Wikipedia always showing how great they are. One sentence: liquid smoke, a product derived from smoke compounds in water, is applied to foods through spraying or dipping. Great job. Yes, and you can buy liquid smoke just about anywhere.
Everybody that you like, people call liquid smoke a cop out, honestly, because it's just. You're not really smoking your food. Like, for example, if you just had pork, like some pork chops, you could put some liquid smoke on it and put it on your grill, and you'd be like, oh, this tastes like it's been smoked. But really, it hasn't been in a smoker for like 9 to 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like a cop out.
I like it. I like where you're coming from. Absolutely true.
Yeah, because why cut a corner? Do it the original way to get the original taste.
Liquid smoke is really, in my opinion, used for quick dishes or something like in a crock pot, where
and I want that smoke
flavor, but you're not smoking it.
Yeah, and I understand that too. But if you're somebody out there that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of people over, I'm just gonna throw a bunch of pork and stuff together.
You're right. It is a cop out.
That dude,
you're not smoking shit.
If you're having people over, you want to have like the best of the best. Like, you want to have like the rib smoke. Like, if I knew I was gonna have somebody over for lunch, I would have my smoker going at probably 4 a.m, 5 or something like that.
Actually, I've got an image. Hold on, I've got an image for that. If you just bear with me here. There we go.
I do agree.
No. Shh. There you go. So I've put the image. So basically, what you're talking about right now is the image that you're going to see displayed on the stream in a moment. But yeah, basically, if you're going to do it right, you're going to end up going out at all hours in any sort of clothing to check on your smoked meats, and your neighbors might look at you and they might judge you for it. But hey, I mean, the fact is, you got to check that smoker even at 2 a.m.
That's usually what I look like when I go outside. But yeah, I smoke stuff all winter long. Like, I was outside smoking stuff. Like, I even grill all winter long. Like, nice. I get a kick out of people that put their grill and their smokers away for like the winter. I'm like, why? Like, all you do is.
I mean, Michigan should belong to Canada, and you're practically Canadian anyways. But that's what Canadians do. Is that? What do you mean put it away? I'm gonna be barbecuing. I'm gonna be grilling literally during a blizzard, and we're having that meat come hell or high water.
Yeah. Like I would rather have meat off of a grill or like my smoker than having to cook it like on the stove or in the like certain aspects of the oven. So,
Absolutely.
moving on.
Moving on. So, and the last one of the type of smoking is smoke roasting. Now, smoke roasting refers to any process that has attributes of both roasting and smoking, obviously. Thank you, Wikipedia. So smart. The smoking method is sometimes referred to as barbecuing or pit roasting. It may be done in a smoke roaster, a closed wood fired oven, or a barbecue pit. Any smoker that can reach 121 Celsius or 250 Fahrenheit, or in a conventional oven by placing a pan, blah, 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 hardwood chips. No, I don't think so. Not in an oven. But yeah, North America, the smoking method is commonly referred to as barbecuing, pit baking, or pit roasting. As an Argentinian, I know quite well is that not only can you grill, but sometimes when you've got these big javali, which is wild boar, you have to roast them, and it takes at least 8 hours. But that is how it's done over an open smoke roasting pit. So let's move on here to the types of smokers. Now, you are very familiar with all this sort of thing, Nikki.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see it very much like either hunters or anglers, car guys. Basically, when it comes to smokers, it becomes an addiction. You are just so into the different tools that you have available, and sky's the limit. So there's so many different potentials, and I truly think that these are literally the brushes and palettes provided to artists. Because to me, smoking is an art, grilling is an art, and dealing with meat is an art. And just like hunting or angling, you know, working on cars and such, that is something that is, if you got the right tools, you can make art. So the types of smokers. First, let's start off with the offset smoker. So I'm going to show that image right now on the screen. And I believe that you mentioned this as one of the ones. Because I needed your guidance to set this all up. I wanted to do it right. So while I speak about this image will show up on the screen. But the main characteristic of the offset smoker is that the cooking chamber is usually cylindrical in shape, with a shorter, smaller diameter cylinder attached to the bottom of one end for a firebox. To cook the meat, a small fire is lit in the firebox, where airflow is tightly controlled. The heat and smoke from the fire are drawn through the connecting pipe or opening into the cooking chamber. The heat and smoke cook and flavor the meat before escaping through an exhaust vent at the opposite end of the cooking chamber. Most manufacturer models are based on this simple but effective design, and that is what most people picture when they think of a barbecue smoker. Even large capacity commercial units use this basic same design as a separate smaller firebox and larger cooking chamber. So any oh, damn it.
I don't know what happened.
Skype muted me.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Well, I know that the audience heard me, but
Yeah, I'm catching up with you on the stream. It's okay. Keep going.
well, no, I was just talking first about the offset smoker, which I've got on the screen right now.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I want to know what experience do you have with that? Like, actually, before we do that, maybe we should talk about what you have.
Mine's a little different. I have an upright one. So it's basically a manual fed. It's a tray basket that you put your wood chips in, followed by underneath that is the heating element. And then above all that, there's the water pan, and then there's three racks going vertical in the air. On the back part, there's a hole that has a compass on it where you can move it around to set the flow rate. So, and what that actually does also is it makes the temperature fluctuate, if you will. Because if you have it opened up too much, you'll have some more smoke coming out. If you have it shut, it will be a trickle effect where you'll get more smoke and more of a temperature. Like mine, I usually have mine open a little bit because I like to smoke my meat for a long period of time, but I don't want a lot of stagnant smoke in there. I have it so it's a nice trickle of smoke coming up through. Um,
Well, I showed a couple of images there on the screen about the
yeah,
different.
it's perfect. That's exactly what I have. And it is true. You can get a lot of food in 3 to 4 racks, like a lot of food. Like I see it like the grill Dave was showing before that smoker, that's a good smoker. But the thing is, like, it's so big and it's
Hold on.
so it's kind of overkill in a way.
Now, let me ask you: is it powered by propane, or you said it
Is
was?
it what?
Is it powered by propane,
So
or
you can get them that
no?
have
No, we're going to
propane.
get that to a moment. I'm just wondering this particular one is it's usually just powered by
No,
chips and such, right?
they're yes, but they're the way that it gets its heat in the fire is by electrical kill rod that goes around the bottom of it that heats
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if this is
There's
because
a heating element that goes around it.
the next one I was going to discuss. Actually, no, this is somewhat different. Um, okay, so what you're discussing is that you've got one of these uprights, but
Yep.
it's controlled through electricity. Now, it doesn't have a. It's not a pellet smoker, right?
Nope. You use wood chips.
Okay, because it's not listed. Okay, there we go. It's actually the uh, five more topics to go. But yeah, electric smokers. So we do have it listed here in the Wikipedia um, um, entry. But I'll move on to the next topic here because we'll get to the one that you're experiencing, and that's where you get. That's where we'll get. Sorry, your insight as to what you operate. But the next one is the upright drum. So, upright drum smoker, sometimes referred to as an ugly drum smoker, is exactly what the name suggests. An upright steel drum that has been modified for the purpose of pseudo indirect hot smoking. There are many ways to accomplish this, but the basics include the use of some complete steel drum, a basket to hold charcoal near the bottom, a cooking rack or racks near the top, all covered by a vented lid of some sort. They've been built in many sizes. Design is similar to smoking with indirect heat due to the distance from the coals and the racks, which is typically about 24 centimeters. The temperatures used for smoking are controlled by limiting the amount of air intake at the bottom of the drum. And we're going to get Nikki to talk more about that later. And allowing a similar amount of exhaust out of the vents in the lids. They're very efficient with fuel consumption and flexibility with their abilities to produce smoking conditions with or without the use of a water pan or drip pan, which is something else I want Nikki to talk about very shortly. Now we have a vertical water smoker. Now I did not know these existed, and I want to get the image up here for you guys to see. But I did not know these existed. And here you have a cutaway as well of one being shown. So a vertical water smoker, also referred to as a bullet smoker because of its shape, is a variation of the upright drum smoker, the one that we just talked about. It uses charcoal or wood to generate smoke and heat, and it contains a water bowl between the fire and the cooking grates. The water bowl serves to maintain optimal smoking temperatures and also adds humidity to the smoke chamber. It also creates an effect in which the water vapor and smoke condense together, which adds flavor to smoked foods. In addition, the bowl catches any drippings from the meat that may cause a flare-up. Vertical water smokers are extremely temperature stable and require very little adjustment once the desired temperature has been reached. Because of their relatively low cost and stable temperature, they are sometimes used in barbecue competitions where propane and electric smokers are not allowed. I did not know that.
I actually like that smoker.
It looks fucking awesome, dude.
That's a good setup.
And personally, I
Very
just love the
simple.
fact that it doesn't use electric or propane. Like, I'm not a fan of propane. It's simple as that. Um, fuck King of the Hill. But yeah, basically, it looks like a very cool method of smoking your meats, and especially keep the moisture in. Now I'm going to try to get the next image here, so bear with me here. I thought I had it ready, but clearly I did not. The next one, if I can find it. I had it loaded. Oh, come on. I had it in the order. I set so much time just getting this ready. Bear with me here, people. Apologies.
Just shout out to Casey is raw in the chat. What up, man?
Here, I'll show this image for now until I find what I'm looking for, just to give you guys something to look at here. God,
You know what?
I hate this image.
See, I know a guy. I know a guy that has this, but he does.
There we go. I got it.
He actually does catering,
Yes,
so
and a
it
lot.
makes
I've
sense
seen
for
that.
him
A
to
lot
have
of people
this.
that do that have that sort of setup, and I just personally, I
Mm-hmm.
fucking love it because you could just go
Yeah.
to a family's place and just or friends or whatever, and you bring your grill with you, and
Right.
it's great.
Oh
All
yeah.
right,
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having one of these. It's just if it's just like you and somebody
yeah, it's
else,
a
or
little heavy
you
duty. I'm
know.
not going to
Oh
deny that.
yeah. Yep.
I'm just saying that like you said, either if you're catering or you're constantly going to family parties where something like that is required.
Right.
But I'm showing the image right now. This is the propane smoker, and it's designed
Uh
to
huh.
allow the smoking of meat in a somewhat more temperature controlled environment. The primary differences are the sources of heat and of the smoke. In a propane smoker, the heat is generated by a gas burner directly under the steel or iron box containing the wood or charcoal that provides the smoke. The steel box has few vent holes, on top of which on the top of the box only. By starving the heat wood of oxygen, it smokes instead of burning. Any combination of woods and charcoal may be used. This method uses much less wood but does require propane fuel. Any comments on that abhorrent method using the
Um.
devil's gas?
Don't really know a lot of people around me that use propane. The only thing I really know of people using that have to do with anything like this is like a propane turkey cooker or boiler, you know what I mean? But as far as like smoking, a lot in my area in Michigan, a lot of it's done with wood because I know a lot of guys that grow their own trees and they cut their wood down and they use that. Some people are really into smoking. Um, but yeah, like what Dave's showing on the screen right now, you got your apple, you got your cherry, you got your mesquite. Mesquite's what I use. I it it's I don't know if it's just a preference. Me and my girlfriend have just always liked what mesquites
It's
did.
fine, dude. You were born that way.
But no, I did apple. Apple's good to do with chicken.
Really?
Yes. I have not did cherry though. But the majority of the time when I'm smoking stuff, and I'm talking everything besides fish, um, is done with mesquite. Um,
So we got a few more um, smokers to go, and then we're gonna get into the types of foods and such, and that's where you're really gonna take off and share with the audience what you know. But okay, so the next one here is a smoke box. So the more traditional method uses a two-box system, a firebox and a food box. Food box is typically adjacent or under the cooking box, and it can be controlled to a finer degree. The heat and smoke from the firebox exhausts into the food box, which is used to cook and smoke the meat. These may be as simple as an electric heating element with a pan of wood chips placed on it, although more advanced methods have finer temperature controls. Then you have what you have, an electric smoker. The most convenient of the various types of smokers are the insulated electric smokers. These devices house a heating element that can maintain temperatures ranging from that required for a cold smoke, so now you know something, all the way up to 135 Celsius, which is 275 Fahrenheit, with little or no intervention from the user. Although wood chunks, pellets, and even in some cases automatically fed wood pucks are used to generate smoke, the amount of flavor obtained is less than traditional wood or charcoal smokers. Then there's the trench. In this method, the firebox is a narrow trench cut into a slope pointing into a prevailing wind. And this is what ancient cultures used, as well as more traditional ones used today. The middle part of the trench is covered over to make it into a tunnel. At the upper end of the trench is a vertical framework covered to form a chimney, within which is placed the rack of foodstuff. At the lower end, the lower upwind end of the trench, is lit a smoky fire and sustained day and night until the food stuff is cured. Then they've got commercial smokehouse, which is mostly made from stainless steel, have independent systems for smoke generation and cooking. Smoke generators use friction, an electric coil, or a small flame to ignite sawdust on demand. Heat from the steam. Yep, that's what it's saying right here. Very interesting. Heat from steam coils or gas flames is balanced with live steam or water sprays to control the temperature and humidity. Elaborate air handling systems reduce hot or cold spots to reduce variation in the finished product. Racks on wheels or rails are used to hold the product and facilitate movement. Interesting. Never knew about that person.
Never heard of that.
And well, it's commercial smokehouses. This is how they do it en masse to be able to produce,
Really?
I guess 10,000 fucking
Mass
ribs of
amounts of it.
fucking, racks of ribs to send to Walmart to sell, to their customers. So yeah, they got to be able to produce it quickly. So the last type of smoker. Sorry, go ahead.
Just quick on that. I kind of just thought in my head, you had one, like, for instance, like you have a big rectangle warehouse. At one point, you have it going like, for example, like on a hanging drying like rack that goes across, and then at the end, eventually, it would be smoked. So no matter what, you always have product coming out, but they have this sped up on a faster scale. That's very interesting. So that's how they do it commercially.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does to get it done.
Yeah, you got to get all that stuff quickly processed so that you can sell to the next franchise. So the last smoker that we're going to discuss, I've got the image on the screen right now, is the pellet smokers. Now, a pellet smoker is a temperature-controlled smoker that burns wood pellets made of dried out sawdust about an inch long and a quarter inch thick. The wood pellets are stored in a gravity-fed hopper, which you can see at the left side of that there, that feeds into a motor-controlled auger by the temperature regulator. This auger pushes the pellets into the fire pot. An ignition rod with the auger ignites the pellets, where a combustion fan keeps them smoldering. The motor and the combustion fan regulate the temperature of the smoker by feeding it more pellets and increasing airflow in the auger. Above the auger is a heat shield to disperse the direct heat before it reaches the heat box, to allow the wood smoke to keep the heat box in an even temperature throughout. The heat sensor inside the heat box relays the current temperature inside a box back to the temperature regulator that controls the fan speed and pellet hopper motor, which either increase or decrease the amount of pellets in the auger or the amount of air available to the fire to maintain the desired temperature for the cook. And the popularity of this type of smoker is on the rise, according to them, after many barbecue pitmasters started using them for competition barbecue. No, those are amateurs. All right.
Well, to put it like they made it idiot proof basically. There's nothing wrong with using something like this, but this is like an idiot proof
I'm
way
glad that you brought.
versus like
I'm
the
glad that you put
old
it so
school way.
bluntly. I'm glad that you put it so bluntly because it truly is. That is
I mean, when
exactly
you
what it
have
is.
an, I mean, it's amazing. You have an auger that automatically puts it in. I mean, it's foolproof. You can set it and go away for 8 hours. It will smoke itself. But somebody like me, I actually like going out there and checking it every 2 to 3 hours to make sure it has enough water. And also, that I'm going to let a little secret in right now is you actually want to spray your meat down with apple juice. It reacts with the fat. And you want to do that periodically while smoking.
We'll get to, well. I want to get into that. I want to get
I
into that.
just want to set off a little firecracker there. Bang, bang.
Bang bang. And I just put up the screen again of you going to check your smoker at 2 a.m.
But like I said, there's nothing wrong with pellet smokers. But the thing is, they've made it just idiot proof.
Yes, I can equate that to my time in IT, where at one point it only took, well, it took really somebody who really knew what they were talking about to fix a computer. Nowadays, people think that they're experts because they can turn one on. But
And one other thing I want, just one last thing. A
yes,
lot of these pellet smokers, they come with probes now that connect to your phone. So you can be inside watching the game and pull up an app and you can see what it is doing in your smoker
okay. Now
without
I'm
having to go
personally
outside.
insulted by that. I'm
Yeah,
personally insulted by that.
they have that now. They have that now.
Actually, I wanted to also I want to show this since we're talking about the woods and stuff. But you've got Kingsfort, which creates charcoal, and they've got these charcoal
Cumin chip.
briskets, or not are they briskets or no briquet? Sorry, briquet. That's the the proper word. It's the French word. Briskets. Well, we're talking about smoked foods, briskets, but
Yeah.
yeah, basically, this is cumin chili and also mesquite wood. So and I don't like these fake charcoal pieces. I mean, they come out the same shape. Why? Because they're formed that way, and they've got added chemicals, and you can taste it, you can smell it, and I hate that stuff. I like just regular, basic wood. Can't remember what they call it, but just basic wood, lump wood charcoal. This stuff, not only do we know it's a briquette, which is fake, and it's got like fuel. It's got actually stuff to make it light faster. But now they're adding fucking flavoring on here. I mean, this is like I don't know, some sort of cereal saying, 105 different artificial flavors in this, but it's organic. It's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not natural at all. I would rather have like those bags you were showing earlier. I
Yes.
would rather have those.
Well, but that's the thing
The straight
that's
up
the,
wood chips.
but you're making sense there because that's actually just straight ass wood. There's nothing, like literally, you chop a tree down, you shred it up, you got this stuff, you dry it out, now you got wood chips of
Hmm.
whatever type of tree that you want. It's natural, it smokes. If you soak them, they'll smoke even more.
Exactly.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Now you're starting to fire up my passion because again, anytime that either somebody brings up fake charcoal briquettes or propane, I them's fighting words. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one other thing I want to say too is the pellets that you would use for that pellet smoker. How do you really know where those are from?
Yep.
They could come from any kind of sawmill anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to be that wood. And plus, the other thing, if I'm gonna have an auger, if it's gonna like, do they even like sift the pellets? Like, is there nails in it? Like, what's in the bag of that?
Was this
You know what I?
gathered? Was this gathered from literally like a horse stall, like at
Oh
some
yes,
like?
exactly. Yep. See, I
Yeah.
would rather go with the wood chips and the chunks of wood that you can buy.
All right. So the next topic, and you're gonna be hitting it off now because we're gonna talk about the different types of foods. So, I'm handing the baton to you, and you are the expert here. That's why I approached you to enlighten me and the audience when it comes to just everything when it comes to smoking anything. Now, obviously, I labeled this smoking meats. That is primarily what's done. But we're gonna get into this. There's not just meat that you can smoke with a smoker, and the sky is the limit when it comes to a smoker. So I'm handing it off to you now. I'm going to be showing images and I'll be interacting, but I want you to take off and I want you to start talking about the types of foods that you can make, the types of meats you can use, and just give us it all. Like, give us your experience, give us everything.
Well, to start off, I mean, basically, I started off smoking full briskets. Like, I'm talking like these fucking 15-pound hoggers. Um, that was actually the first three meats that I started with. Um, I cooked it for 16 to 18 hours. So that's how long it smoked for. Um, Yeah, the first one I got, I mean, obviously, you got to get your niche for it. This first one I did, it was kind of a little too well done, and then I dialed it back. Um, and then I got it to where it had a nice juicy inside. But the thing with the brisket is it's a huge, thick cut of meat. So you have to have it on at a long period of time, but you got to have your temperature at right uh, temp and the right smoke going through your vents. Like Dave's showing right now, that brisket right down there next to the whole chicken, something like that, you would want to have on there for a long, long time and have good ventilation, because you're not going to want stagnant smoke. You want to have a good flow of it. You want everything to be fresh.
So
Um,
I just want to quickly jump in. Slow and low is where you go, right?
yes, because if
Tell the
you do
audience
a
about that.
if
Tell the audience.
Well, if you do it slow and low, it takes longer, but it doesn't like get it like
Well,
well done.
just for the
It will
audience,
burn.
just for the audience, slow means obviously a long time. Low means low temperature.
Yeah, look, I'm
Okay.
talking like probably like 160, 150. Um, and the only reason you want to do that is because of how thick it is. If you'll burn the outside of it if you have it at a high temp, but at a low temp, it's slowly cooking its way into the inside. Kind of like what a steak does when you let it rest in a way. Um, Now, if you want, you can go back to that picture of the ribs. That's the main thing that I do a lot now, because meat prices. Ribs. We actually did a video today. Me and my girlfriend, we rubbed down some ribs that I'm gonna smoke on Saturday, and it shows us taking them out of that. Well, we didn't take them out. We
Hold on.
putting
So
them
they're going to
on.
marinate for 3 days before you smoke them.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's
You're
just
really
like that.
jumping the shark here, but not the shark. But I mean,
Well, no,
like,
I
now you're starting a new conversation. Okay. Well, 3 days of fucking marinating. What are you fucking marinating with?
nothing. It's just dry rubbed and then put on
Oh,
a pan
so
and
sort of
just
like
put
natural curing.
yes. Yep.
Okay.
It like basically what we have it on a
Nice.
big cookie sheet with tinfoil on it, and then she rubbed it down, and then she put cellophane over it, really good, and then she puts it in the bottom of the refrigerator, on the lowest rack, by itself,
Yeah, that's
and
basic. You're basically
it's
curing
in
that stuff.
yes because it's in a cold environment.
And what'd you put
Then
on there? What was the rub? Like a salt and I'm sure other stuff, but
so yeah, I got took a picture of it. Let me bring it up one sec. Um, Basically you put brown sugar, garlic powder, um,
yeah.
what
Why
is
don't I
it?
just play the video?
Yeah, if you want, do
Yeah,
that.
let's
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Do
All
that.
right, so you're gonna have to mute yourself because you're not gonna be able to see this, but you can see it
Yep.
on the stream. So I'm gonna transition this, and yeah, it should show up. So enjoy, people.
Those
These are
ribs
two
are so
videos,
good.
okay? These are two videos that Nikki just sent me earlier today. So you're going to have to walk us through later the two different videos. So here we go.
Okay.
What'd you just put in there?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar? Now what's next?
Now is kosher salt.
How many is that?
One, you need 4
4
teaspoons.
teaspoons. What's that? Black powder?
Black pepper.
Just
4
black
teaspoons.
pepper. Black powder. Well, we call it black powder. And what's that? Or how many?
4 teaspoons.
4 teaspoons.
Smoked paprika.
Now we got some smoked paprika.
4 teaspoons.
4 teaspoons. Now, is this the stuff that you tell me adds a little spice to it?
No.
Oh,
that's
not that.
cayenne pepper.
Oh, that's the
Pretty
cayenne
good.
pepper. And you don't even put any of that in
No,
there.
I don't.
Because it makes it
It's-
spicier with the black pepper.
Yeah. It's too hot. Two teaspoons of garlic powder.
Garlic powder.
Two teaspoons of onion powder.
Onion powder makes it taste so good.
Two teaspoons of brown mustard.
Ground mustard, really?
Yep.
Wow. This is the first time she's even letting me see it, folks.
Just put the rest.
You kind of don't. You don't. I mean, we're running out, but you
Is
don't
there
need a
audio
lot,
to
do you?
this?
2 teaspoons.
Oh, okay. So that's basically it. 2 teaspoons on that.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, okay.
1 teaspoon of cinnamon.
And this is a recipe
Yeah,
we've had
I'm
for
explaining everything.
ever since
Okay,
we
that's
started
cool. I don't
smoking,
wanna-
right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, for a couple years now. She just took a screenshot of it on some recipe thing. What'd you just put in?
1 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Okay, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now what?
Now I mix it up here.
You just gotta mix it up real
'Cause
good.
I'm not getting any audio from. Is the stream playing the audio for you?
And we've even bought rubs before. You can buy some really good rubs, but then again, it's also fun to do this too. Make your own stuff. There's been times where she's made her own, like we didn't even do a recipe. We've even tried, they even have a blueberry rub too, don't they?
Yeah, we didn't like that.
Yeah,
It wasn't
we-
blueberries, raspberries.
Oh, raspberries, but it was spicy.
It-
very
and it
spicy.
tasted weird.
Yeah, it was very spicy.
I'm just putting my stuff away.
Okay, we just got our ribs out of the package, and she's taking some of the fat off. They usually don't trim them up like they oughta, but she's just pulling some of the excess fat off of it. There's going to be enough fat on it to make it good tasting. You won't have to worry about that. There's enough fat on. Pretty much all the white you see is fat, so. She's just taking some of the excess off so it's easier for us to basically eat. I mean, it's not, you're just chewing and cutting it all off anyway, right, babe?
That's why we couldn't get it.
Why?
It's not really on the vine. It's on the meat itself.
Oh,
There we go.
nice. Okay, now we're gonna sprinkle. Now this is the back side, right, baby?
Yeah.
She usually always starts off with that back. That's usually where a lot of the, like this bottom part is where a lot of good meat is on the back side. Yep. Now she just rub it in. You rub it like it's your meat, right, baby? Rub that meat, girl. Did you see that? She did 2 hands on that. Yeah, look at that. This is gonna be good. Now she's gonna flip that shit over. Look at that. Look at that marble. Now she's gonna do the same thing. And we'll probably have these sitting in the refrigerator for, I think we're gonna do them Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we cut it in half too because of my smoker. I mean, if I had a bigger smoker, I would keep it all as one. I mean, shoot, you can cut it down however you want. It's still gonna smoke the same. So, basically, that's it. She's gonna cut it in half, so when we take it out there or whatever, it's easy to go. Look at that, right from the bottom. And there's the fat.
No, it's the knife. It's a gristle.
Oh, I got you. There we go. There we go. And that's basically it. All we're going to do now is just put some cellophane over it. And she'll probably take a spoon and put some of this spice up on it, on the sides. And then we're just going to put it in the refrigerator and let it ferment. Or whatever. Or whatever you call it. Oh, that's what cheese does, she says, so. All right, folks.
Yeah, see, you don't have to be afraid of it. Make whatever you want. Add, I don't know how many rubs we've went through. We've tried so many different things. Make it your own. Like, don't be afraid to add certain things into it. We have a few different recipes that she has written down in a book out there, just so we remember. But yeah,
she wrote a book.
No, she just said a couple of different ones that she has that
Now,
we've tried on our own that we've made.
I haven't watched the videos because again, we did this, we threw this together at the last moment. I didn't get a chance to listen to these entire videos and stuff. I just downloaded them and we went live, sort of thing. But
I was basically explaining everything throughout it. Like every time she put something in the bowl, she was saying, "This is what this is. This is how many teaspoons."
Well, that's
or
why
whatever.
I've got a great replay value.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go back and watch this again.
Yeah, I literally, you'll be hearing me talk all the way through it. So,
but yeah, I mean, you've done this in the past where you literally break it down and walk us through this sort of thing. So I can't wait to listen to it. But the visuals obviously showed, a pair of individuals who were quite knowledgeable when it came to smoking foods. So and oh my God, was that side ribs that you guys were?
I'm thinking so because of the bottom
just
fat,
the size
or the bottom part of the meat.
Yeah, but back ribs
don't
don't look that large. But oh my
Right,
god,
but just to
that
where it
fucking
was,
rack,
that's what I'm
dude. Like,
thinking.
I mean, I felt kind of bad her cutting it in, in half because obviously I guess it doesn't fit. But oh my god, the
Oh
size
yeah,
of
it
that
wouldn't fit.
mother. Oh, it looks so amazing.
Yeah, and see, it will still smoke fine. Every time I go out there, I just flip or I like maneuver the racks. So because I every couple hours, like I said, I go out there and check the water and I spray it down with apple juice. It's something the citric stuff reacts with the fat, gives it more flavor, keeps it more juicy.
I like it.
Um, the one thing I've been wanting to try that I'm seeing on the screen right now, I've been wanting to try some hamburgers.
Yeah, actually, not only I actually saw while collecting images today of meatballs being smoked, and I'm thinking to myself, that sounds
Really?
fucking awesome.
Now, were they
Meatballs.
beef or pork
Yeah,
or
beef
chicken?
meatballs.
Wow. I wonder what a chicken meatball would be like. Because you know the other thing with that is you can put get some really nice fine cheese from the deli, like some cheese cubes, and put inside of them.
Well, if you're going to
Oh,
go that, I didn't plan to talk about that just yet, but since we're now all over the place, let's talk about cheese. And if in fact the cheese man from Cheeseland is listening, because probably he is,
well,
I would suggest that he calls in because what I'm going to discuss, if you ever tried it, will blow your fucking mind. And yes, you can smoke cheese. That's right,
yes.
people. You can smoke cheese, and it is probably some of the greatest ever. Now, I'm showing, excuse me, some smoked Gruyere, and I'm sure that I'll get points from Drew for pronouncing it properly. He doesn't like it when people don't pronounce his cheese properly. But yes, smoked cheese, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never tried smoked cheese before, you are seriously missing out on probably one of the greatest inventions ever made. Let's show this image here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these blocks of cheeses. These blocks of cheeses being smoked. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, so they just put it right in. Wow, that's just a digital upright smoker like mine in a way, but
Hmm.
not. So they just put it right in on there.
Or you can go fucking crazy and then look at this image here. This
Dude,
is
they even got a
basically this huge block of cheese that was scored, which is that method of cutting it in that method, in such a way as to allow this to cook, well, to smoke, but to also cook. So you take this out for a party, and it is melting, and it is gooey, and it is smoked, and it's got a nice little crust on the outside, and this is perfection. This is God telling you He loves you.
Yeah, this is a fat kid's dream. You know, one thing I would love to make something like that
Hey,
into would be
don't
a nice.
discriminate against us skinny folk. We love fucking fried foods and cheese and that stuff too. Okay.
It would be nice to mix this in with a nice thick soup. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, that would be nice to do. Holy shit.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to
amazing.
try this. And I see that they sprinkled something on it. I wonder what they put on it.
I'm not too sure. I didn't really see the recipe. I
I mean, you
just
wouldn't want to just put seasoned salt on it or
no,
whatever.
but I'm sure that there's things that you could add that, like you're saying, will provide a nice crust and
Right.
again adds and fulfills that smoke flavor. So
See, for me, I wonder what it'd be like if I sprayed some apple juice on it. Huh.
I don't think the reaction with the cheese would work well. But I would suggest just start looking up online, smoking cheese. And I'm sure again, you are the master here. I'm just the Padawan. I'm learning
Well,
from
I
you.
can get some nice. I live close by some Amish, and they got an Amish store or Amish deli. So, and all their fucking shit comes from like the area around here. So
Yep.
I can find
Locally
some
sourced.
straight up like real cheese, like not from fucking Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
real cheese.
yeah. Wow.
So let me just check where we're at here.
Yeah,
So
this is something I haven't did. Is
haven't
cheese.
did haven't done, but yeah, I like you. I
Done.
like your way
Did done.
more. It sounds more redneck to me, and I like it.
Uh-huh.
But you haven't did that. And here's another. This is again. I'm just pulling this image up because this is a typical thing that seems to be consistent with Southern cuisine, but it is famous in American barbecue culture. You got barbecued ribs. You've got smoked ribs. You got smoked mac and cheese, and you got smoked baked beans.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you right now, those ribs are overcooked.
Yeah, you can see it's white, and that they're not supposed to be white.
No.
Now I'm going to show this image here. People, I think, exclude this way too often. Nordic cultures, perhaps maybe a little bit to excess, eat this stuff. But smoked fish is a lot cooler than you might think it is.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, smoked salmon, I could eat a mountain of that if it didn't cost a fucking arm and a leg in your firstborn. But smoked salmon is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, like again, herring, anchovies, even. Okay, maybe the flavor's not the best for some people, but I'll tell you one thing: the amount of antioxidants and other beneficial, like B vitamins and such in fish, makes it worth the hassle. But you don't have to go with the stinky, salty fish. You can go with something as simple as fucking salmon or trout, pickerel, mackerel, and all these things that just come out great in a smoker. And it's fish. And many people, again, like I said, aren't keen on fish. But if you've never tried it right, you don't really know. Now, what about sorry. Go ahead.
I just was gonna say I have a little bit to touch on with this.
Do it.
So we used to go salmon fishing way back, and everything we used to do with our salmon, out in Lake Michigan and Lake Huron, my dad smoked. Very rarely did we actually cook this on a grill or even in the pan or even in the oven. He always smoked this. Basically, I'd have to get the recipe that he would do, but I remember my dad would have to come up with the brine, and he would put the fish in brine water for, I know it was like 3 days, and then he would smoke the fish for at least up to 16 hours on a low heat. And my dad's smoker was an old commercial refrigerator that he tore down on the inside down to like the metal part and installed some he basically made it into a smoker. But the thing with that is that I want to touch on is if you're going to smoke meat and fish, you're going to want to get 2 different smokers, because it will literally make your meat taste different and your fish taste different. It's not that we found this out the hard way. It's just when you're smoking a lot of fish at one time, it makes the inside smell, and it starts sticking to the sides. The same thing with the meat smoker, if you will. It does the same thing with that. I would never, with my smoker now, I would never put fish in it because it would not come out right. I would not ruin it. With that being said, a lot of people get smoked fish a couple of days after it's been done, like commercially, because they package it, they send it out, and then they sell it. I'm used to having smoked fish coming right out when it has like its most flavor, when it's warm, and when it's in these small fillets.
It's pronounced filet, senor. Filet.
Filet. I've never tasted anything rich as far as fish in my entire life. Besides
Really?
having it, yes,
That's interesting because from what I've
smoked
heard, you
salmon.
can actually really enrich it. Like you can add lemon and butter and some herbs to a smoked salmon in its
But when
smoking
it first
process.
But when it first comes out of the smoker, it has its best flavor. What I'm saying is, over time, after it's been smoked, it
Yeah.
starts to lose
No,
flavor.
I totally
A
agree with
lot
you
of
there.
people, when they buy it, when they get it from a store or somewhere up north, it's been probably sitting there for a little, at least a day or two. I'm talking about when I've had it for like a day. That's when it has like its best flavor. Um,
I hear you.
yeah. But one thing I wanted to emphasize is if you are going to get into smoking, anybody out there, if you're wanting to do both, it would be a good idea to invest in two different smokers, because the inside of your smoker will help with smoking your meat and your fish.
Very
When I
kosher of
first
you. Oy vey.
One thing, one thing I want to touch on quick. Whenever you decide what smoker you want to get, especially an upright one, after you put it together, you want to spray the inside down with Pam, and then let it set, and then spray it down with apple juice. What that will do is it will get rid of like the metal uh, taste kind of compound, if you will, and it will get that first smoke to stick to the
It's actually
sides.
recommend that you burn you cause a big strong fire in any of these
The,
smokers that you get first
right.
to burn off that shit prior to starting to use it.
See, the way I did it a little differently. I scrubbed the
You
inside
love
of
the
it,
oh, you went even
and
further. I thought you said you were gonna say fuck it, I'm gonna inhale those chemicals, no problem. Fuck,
no, no,
I've eaten meat on propane. This should be no big deal.
no, I know where these things come from.
No,
I
I
know
know,
where
I know.
they're manufactured. I
Yeah, no,
scrubbed the
dude, I know
inside.
that too. That's why I fucking always fucking recommend that.
Well, I scrubbed it down with dish soap and a scouring pad, kind of, and then afterwards dried it out with an
Should
air
have made a
hose.
video. I would have loved to see you wear those fucking
Yeah.
gloves, scrubbing it down. And
Well, I wanted to get all the oil off of it and everything. But then after I was done, I sprayed all that in there, and then I did what you said. I smoked stuff through it, or I made a fire in it or whatever. Because I
well, that's
wanted to get
smart.
all
It
that to
probably came
stick
from
to the
China,
side of
right?
it. I imagine so. Imagine so. Most everything does now anyway. Um, but yeah, that picture you got right there, that's a good smoker right there. I recommend those smokers. It's foolproof.
Well, the good thing about this, at least, I mean, yeah, you do like the electric. I'm personally not a fan of that, but the fact is that you can regulate power consumption, and you've got the ability to
Yes,
put in literally 5 different trays of these pork butts or these fucking cuts of meat that are fucking massive. So
there is a dial on it for the electric thing. For the
I
electric
know,
kill
I
rod,
know. I
there
just
is a
don't like
dial on it,
electric
so you
though,
can
man.
set it.
Like to me, the flavor is
Then,
the
then
thing.
then get the propane one, because that way you
No,
can.
fuck propane. I told you, I don't fucking deal with that
Uh,
devil fucking gas.
then I guess the only
It's
honestly,
wood or nothing, buddy.
if you want to do it, then look up. Do you ever seen that guy? His videos that he just smiles at the camera and he cooks food. He's from Turkey or
I know
whatever.
exactly who you're talking about.
If you look up some of his videos, he actually makes certain smokers. Um,
He
that people
makes
don't
them?
realize, but yes, out of brick.
Well, okay, now you're getting a little okay. So yeah,
If
yeah.
you're
I mean, if you're making it out of brick,
if
like,
you
come on,
don't
man.
want no, listen, no. If you're but
No.
he makes it out of brick and he lights it manually. Like there's no um electricity or propane or anything like that. It's all like natural. but it's done. He like makes a brick smoker, if you get what I'm saying. It's just another way, because if you want to do it without any of those elements, I mean, you either make a pit in the ground. The best thing I could tell you to do is make a deep pit and put your wood in it, and then put a rack over top of your pit, so that way you can basically smoke your food. I mean, that's basically like the Indians did it. It sounds like that's the way you want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, as long as there's fire. I mean, like Weber is a big company in Canada.
But there would be. I mean, you would essentially be digging a like 3-foot or 4-foot deep hole and making a fire down there.
Look, I'm from Argentina. I've got several diplomas when it comes to wilderness survival. Like when it comes to fucking fires and trenches, I think I'm good. But Weber is a Canadian company. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're a big company
Weber,
here in Canada. They've got great cookers and grills and smokers. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen them, but they do have some of the bullet-sized ones, and even what I can't remember what it's called, but the big green.
The big green egg.
Yes, the big green egg. Yes.
So are you talking about maybe using charcoal, Dave? Different charcoals?
Absolutely, dude.
That's a different way.
That or a fucking, like what the I can't remember what it was called.
It still would. I mean,
no, but like, what's the one with the barrel on its side, where you've got the wood box next to it and it's feeding in the.
Pellet stove.
No. I showed it earlier.
Yeah, pellet.
No. It's a different one. It's the one where it's got the wood box next to it. I'll show it on the screen here.
Oh, the pellet grill.
No, it's not pellets. There's nothing with pellets. You're just loading the side. Okay, I've got the image right now.
I think, is it the briquette thing again?
No, it's not briquettes either. I got to go back to the fucking Wikipedia article. It is the offset smoker. So you got a barrel laying on its side, and you've got the smoke box just next to it, and that's where you load either your charcoal, or more specifically the wood chips that we were discussing earlier, of all the different types of mesquite or fucking apple, cherry, and that's where you load that shit up.
So you're looking at one of those. That's like a natural flow that you just light a fire when.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. And, I'd be just like you. I'd be going out to my fucking porch, fucking in my underwear. And, neighbors would be wondering what the fuck I'm doing out there at 2 a.m. in the morning. But, I would certainly
It's
prefer
interesting because you can still set the vent, which will set your temperature.
Dude, our ancestors did this. They didn't rely on fucking propane or fucking electricity, dude. And that stuff tastes better. I just can't fucking fathom the idea of why I would convenience. Yeah, okay. I'll take your fucking electric grill or electric smoker over a fucking propane anything any day, dude. I do not like propane.
Well, I would actually.
It's the flavor, dude. You don't taste it?
I would actually be interested in one of these because it's more of a natural smoke, like.
Absolutely. I saw them at Cabela's for $109, I believe, a couple of years ago. Maybe it's probably gone up. But then again, if you know people who work with metal, you can have one of these things made instead of a small little shitty, sized like this one that we're looking at. We get a full fucking industrial size fucking.
That one's a big one. What'd you say? I mean, you got two. I mean, that's probably what.
Dude, that's small, man.
Right,
no, that's small. That's small. That's like maybe 18 inches in diameter.
Oh,
no, man, that's small. No, I'm talking about fucking industrial sized fucking, oil barrel that's been cleaned out and properly made to. And you've seen these projects. People have done this online. They've made these fucking barbecues and grills and smokers just from these barrels and stuff. And yeah, man, just like we showed earlier with those the one on the wheels, man. So big that you need to fucking transport it on fucking wheels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are the big competition ones.
But that's where it's at, because if you're gonna be grilling, you want to be able to be grilling, well, smoking, I should say, you want to be able to smoke as much as possible because a lot of this stuff preserves and then you can eat it later. So, yeah, we're getting very passionate here. Where's my note list here? So we're going
You
through.
need to buy one.
Yeah, but I got to get the space for it first.
Well,
Yeah, it's so different types of meats we've been talking about. Something else that people need to understand is actually, let me show that image. So I'm just showing an image right now, which wasn't the one I necessarily wanted, but there's an image I'm going to show in a moment here that people, you got to understand that smoking is life. Really, it is. I mean, I didn't realize this, and I started to, look more into it. But again, just
this
like
is awesome,
hunting, just
people.
like all this other stuff, it becomes not only a passion, but the tools that you use are made for artisans. So you truly are, working on a piece of art when you smoke and you take passion in this whole thing. But I'm just trying to find the fucking image. Sorry. So I'll show this one
This
first.
is all people. This is all some people do. Is just
Yep.
go all. They travel with those trailers filled, and they go all around to all these different competitions and fairs, and win big prize and big money.
Or
Look at
they
all
just
the kebabs.
cater and they make big money too. But there we go. Chicken brochettes or kebab, if you want to use the Arabic pronunciation. I recommend the more dignified French brochette if you really want to be, civilized. But yeah, you can do this, and look at that. You got vegetables on there as well, and you're smoking both the meats and the vegetables in this process, low and slow. And it's just amazing. Now, Nikki, look at this, man. I'm putting this image up right now. Not only do we have stuffed jalapeno peppers, not only do we have stuffed sweet peppers, but there's a fucking pizza being smoked.
Man,
Mind blown.
you'd have to have that in there for a long time.
Yes, but it'll cook evenly. Because again, if you try to rush cooking dough, it stays raw in certain areas. Now, if you
Right.
smoke it slow and low, not only are you cooking it thoroughly, but you're getting that smoke flavor throughout. I mean, this to me, this screen right now is just fucking. It's food orgasm. It's a foodgasm. Seriously.
And what are those things up top?
Those are stuffed sweet peppers. Yellow, orange. I think there's a red in there somewhere, or a green one.
I wonder what.
They've got.
Wonder what's
It's got. I
inside of-
believe it's got rice and sausage in there.
What?
Yeah, you never had stuffed sweet pepper?
That guy.
Normally, I don't smoke anything, to be quite honest, because I don't have a smoker. But I've made stuffed sweet peppers before, and the usual, recipe calls for rice mixed in with sausage and some other vegetables, spices, and stuff like that. So basically, that's what you got there. Smoking. You got spicy jalapeno peppers with, I believe it's cream cheese and bacon and such. Also smoking, and then you got that pizza. Like, that's
Wow.
fucking legit.
I've never thought about doing rice and.
No? Really?
Mm-mm. I usually just do meat, man. That mac and cheese I did the other day, that was the first time I tried anything else.
I'm glad that you
did
expand
meat
your
and chicken.
horizons, but from the sounds of it, it actually turned out great.
It did. The first time I did it, I used penne noodles and got bitched out for it.
Oh, that's right.
And-
Penne noodles. It's not penne. The fuck are you? Penne.
And then the next time I used elbow mac and cheese.
There you go. Finally got it right. Second time's a charm.
Yeah. But it turned out good. I only literally had it in there for an hour. That's all it really needs. If you put it in there longer than that, man, it's going to be overpowering. Oh, that's a perfect right there. That's what you want. Those ribs right there.
Beef ribs, baby.
Yep.
So, let's move on to. Excuse me. So we've basically covered the types of meats. Oh, did I mention deviled eggs? I don't think I
Really?
did mention deviled eggs. Yes, I found this out earlier today. You can make deviled eggs, smoked deviled eggs, in a smoker, and God damn it, I got the hiccups. I personally love deviled eggs. They're amazing. But to know that you can smoke them, dear Lord, help me. So I'm going to have to look up this recipe and share it with Nikki. But I learned about that God damn it, just today. So yeah, apparently you can even smoke eggs and make them taste divine.
Wow. I've never thought about doing an egg.
Neither did I until I learned that today. Now I'd heard of that before, but I thought it was like, oh well, they're just adding some sort of herb or something, or maybe a spice
Right.
that makes it like smell smoked, like we were talking about earlier. Like, oh, liquid smoke, you ain't fucking smoking shit, bitch. You're just fucking taking the easy way out with the fucking liquid. So I just thought maybe something colloquial, but no, it's apparently it's a thing. You can actually smoke eggs. Now, I want to ask you before we move on to rubs, which you're going to discuss, but brining. Do you? Sorry, I'm getting pissed off with my fucking hiccups here. Do you have experience with brining your meat prior to any sort of smoking?
No, but it is one thing I've been wanting to look into for chicken, because I've heard you're supposed to do that with. I know you're supposed to do it with turkey, and especially wild turkey, and chicken. I've seen that you want to do it with also because it can add a certain flavor. And shout out to Drew in the chat, Derailed.
Oh, Drew, you're late to the party, Drew. You're late to the party. We talked about smoked cheese, and I don't understand why you didn't call in earlier. We talked about so much smoked cheese, how amazing it is. How, in fact, I'm in love with the smoked Fantina from Quebec, from those, Gregorian monks. So if you want to call in and talk about smoked cheese, call in now. Do it now.
Do it now, Dave. Do it now. Do it now.
So you're saying
I would be actually really interested to hear about it, Drew, because that picture. You should bring up that picture again, where it just showed the blocks of cheese on the rack. I mean, that looks like something I would just be doing at my house.
Fuck yeah!
Putting that.
Well, if cheese didn't cost fucking $15 a brick up here,
right? Yeah. But
I'd be doing that fucking shit too if I also had a smoker, which would probably cost me
I wonder
a lot. But
I wonder if the cheese, I mean, it's not like it's gonna melt, so
slow and low, baby, slow and low.
I guess so, yeah, and it's just gonna stay like a brick, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Derailed. I don't care about your crappy connection tonight. Do whatever you have to do. You go down to the desk, you take the phone from them, and you call up right now. I don't know how you do that with the phone to Skype, but you figure it out.
It's 2022. They can do it.
You can do it. But yeah, look at those blocks. Look at those blocks of cheese. And also, there's the smoked Gruyere.
Yeah, that.
I hope that, again, I talked about this earlier, Drew. I hope that you appreciate my pronunciation in regards to pronouncing the cheese as it is supposed to be. I know you deal with a lot of Walmart Americans who don't know how to pronounce the appropriate method. Please continue.
I just don't know much about the cheese. I wonder if there's any. Where is that? Meats, cheese.
Well, I'm willing to learn, baby.
Where is fish? I don't
When
want
it comes to
cheese.
smoking cheese, fucking delicious. Oh, Derail says perfect pronunciation. Excellent. But yes, if you again smoked cheese, if you can get actually, let me talk to you about this because you're probably more down with this than I am. Smoked blue cheese. That's a big thing apparently, and from what I've seen, a big thing in America particularly. I'm
Yeah, a lot of
not
people like
down
blue
too much with
cheese.
blue cheese unless it's like with to counter the spicy flavor of wings or something. But I'm certainly not going out and, as is common, having blue cheese on a steak at a restaurant. Okay, not my deal. Is it what many people do? Yes, not my thing. But you, sir, smoking champion of the world, in more than ways than one. What do you say about that? The smoked blue cheese. Are you a fan of it? Do you use it?
I've never tried it honestly, but I'm willing to. I don't have a problem with blue cheese or anything. Um, I did find some information on cheese in general. Um, it does say that you are going to want to maintain your temperature at 90 Fahrenheit. Turn the cheese and you're going to want to cut it
What's
into
that in
blocks.
Canadian?
What's that? 32.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad. That's warm.
It's like 32, 33, isn't it?
I don't know.
Turn the. Oh, what do you mean? I don't know. It says
I'm not
turn it-
Canadian. What am I? I am Canadian. I'm not fucking American. That's what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. Make me look stupid on my own show. Well, no, I think maybe I've got to blame the weed for that one, but whatever. You were absolved. You were absolved. Continue.
It says turn the cheese every 30 minutes, which, like I said earlier, I stirred up my mac and cheese when I first tried it every 30 minutes because I didn't want it to just smoke the top part of it. But it says turn your cheese every 30 minutes for exposure to the smoke on all sides. Smoke
Smart.
your cheese for 2 to 4 hours at 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius.
That's hot.
So
I'd be bear shirt. Bear shirt?
well, I would probably be
Bare-chested.
putting it. I would probably myself be putting it up on like the toppest rack. I wouldn't.
Yes,
It's
no,
not
yes,
something I would have
definitely.
it
Yeah, because you
down
want
there.
the least amount and you want to
Yeah.
have it in there as long as possible.
In a smoker, there's still going to be heat at the top.
But
So rusty.
this is the art of the smoking, of the grilling. Again,
Yeah.
anything when it comes to, well, first of all, anything that comes with men, it comes, to men and meat, shows a true masculine sense. Now, whether it be grilling for hours to feed the family or managing the smoker constantly, it is truly what our ancestors did, the truly manliest of us. The faggots are out there playing the fucking video games, but we are constantly going out, even at the earliest of times of days, and checking our meat.
Right. Dave in the chat
You should've
says
sold that
smoked blue cheese. Well, I agree. He says smoked blue cheese is surprisingly good. Helps with the balance, especially if you're offended by the blue flavor. Dave's not Canadian. It finally comes out.
Well, I was born in Argentina. I mean, but hey, my loyalty's to Canada. Don't worry about that. I'd, not hesitate to send a nuke to Argentina if my loyalties were questioned. So how about that?
This
Now
is
we're gonna
be
get a
hard
new
to-
video on me. It's like Dave Rose, he's anti-Latino, more, on TMZ.
Right.
Right.
Hey, Dave.
What are you, fucking
you-
Dr. Evil? Just fucking dismissing everything I say? I'm not Scott. Okay, well, his son Scott, not fucking Scunty. Please acknowledge me, Dad. All right, continue.
I wonder if Drew's ever been to these commercial smoking places for the cheese and whatnot. I'd like to know if you could say so in the chat since you can't
could
call
see him,
in.
I could see him licking his lips saying, smoke that cheese. Smoke it good.
Yeah. Because I wonder if they smoke other stuff there, or did they just smoke cheese?
Well,
Man,
as you were saying earlier, does it not make a lot of sense that if you're going to be smoking something that is totally separate from any other meat?
well, no, you only want to do that with fish.
Really?
You could have a yes.
But
I
do you
would,
want? Hold on. But do you want to infuse meat smell or flavor into cheese when
Yeah,
maybe
what?
you just want the
Yeah,
cheese with just flavored with the smoke alone?
it's the same thing.
I don't. Nah, I don't know. You've got the infusion of
It's
the
the same
smell
thing.
of the meat.
It's the same thing.
But no, but meat. Just
When
hold on. Wood chips
when you start
alone is different from wood chips and meat.
when you start smoking, you'll understand. I don't mean to be a dick when I say that, but when you start smoking stuff, you'll be like, "Oh, it really doesn't matter. It's all the same."
All right, Master Obi-Wan, I accept.
I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything straight up, but I'm
Now,
just
this is
saying,
where you
like,
say, "Patience, Anakin. In time, you will learn."
honestly, yeah. Like I know you, and when you get a smoker, you're gonna be so meticulous at this.
But Master, I'm so impatient.
Drew said smoking cheese is quite popular, though. I've sold entire 10-pound blocks to people who are doing that.
Ooh, nice.
Wow. So, like,
That would
what's
take,
that
if you didn't cut that
cost?
shit up, it would take fucking days to smoke a 10-pound fucking block, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm. Well, they cut it down, and the thing that I was
Are
looking
you
at,
sure?
it
Because
says,
you've seen these fucking wheels of cheese, right? Some of these wheels of
uh,
cheese are sold already smoked, dude. So
yeah,
how long
right,
does that
but
fucking take?
oh well, then a long time because you're gonna have to get it into the
Well,
middle
that's
part
what
of
I'm
the
talking
cheese.
about. So what is this
But what
guy
I
tout? This guy's waltzing around town with fucking 10 pounds of fucking cheese, just be like, showing off his fucking luxury. Like, look at me, I got 10 pounds of cheese. It's smoked. That was a
right?
joke. You can laugh.
Oh, ah,
There we go.
um,
A little more Keith, please, next time.
ugh.
Yeah. Did I throw you off a little too much?
No.
We got Gabe Rodriguez in the chat says, "No, it's not all the same. All meats taste differently, and so do cheeses, even if it's smoked." This is, after all, a Michelin star
Well,
chef.
well, yeah. Nobody's not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you, they didn't even. Nobody. You guys aren't understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying it's
What are you
not gonna taste.
saying?
It's not gonna taste. The cheese isn't gonna taste like meat. Like it doesn't work like that. What I'm saying is you don't want to put fish and meat in the same smoker because then it's really going to start tasting really weird. What I was saying is, as far as you would want to put the cheese in with the meat smoker because it's going to have less of a fishy taste.
I understand that, but I personally
Yeah.
believe that well, I'm finding it difficult to understand how meat will not infuse a flavor into cheese.
Well, if it's the only thing that I'm smoking in my smoker at the time, why would anything like that be infused with it?
No, but because you're saying that fish is gonna infect everything else. So would you not have
It would.
a smoker? No, I don't. I don't disbelieve you. What I'm saying is that okay, fish infects shit. Fine. Well, pork, beef, whatever. That will infuse in other flavors. But then can't you separate them? I mean, like, you see what I'm
If you
saying?
want,
Like,
the only way you'd be able to do it is in buying a third
even
smoker.
But even cheese, again, like cheese is like, because you can infuse cheese with specifically wood flavors, right? Or flavors from wood, I should say.
Right.
But do
But
you
of
want
the
that? But do you want that mixed with meat? Because if you put that in a smoker that uses meat, it's gonna somehow infuse that meat flavor into it. What if you want to separate that? I'm just saying, like, it just sounds to me like if you're really looking to separate any potential, not infestation, but like just incursion of flavor from something else, that you're gonna require 3 different smokers if you want to do cheese, meats and fish, and maybe even vegetables. Shit. Like vegetables, if you infuse them with other flavors, like you're having vegetables, but you're infusing them in a smoker that has meat in there, you're gonna piss off the stupid vegans. Not that they have much strength to fucking fight, but it's not going to be a pure flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm not, encouraging everyone to go about, buy 5, 6 different smokers just so you can handle all different fucking shit. But I'm just trying to point out the point that, there's going to be contamination, if you want to call it that, of flavors. If you're limited with basically having one smoker. So you got to consider this when it comes to what are you putting in there. And you're making a good point with the fish. You don't necessarily, if you're cooking beef and pork and maybe even vegetables in one of your smokers, well, then you're not going to want to put fish in there. If you want to start smoking fish, you're just going to have to get another smoker.
Yeah. But as far as the cheese thing, I would rather have it in with a meat one. I don't think you would need to necessarily get even another smoker, because just with the flavor, like say if you, just an example, say if you did like a brisket for like 12 hours and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep going, I might put in a block of cheese. Can you imagine what that would taste like?
No, look.
That would be amazing.
I am certainly not arguing this. I'm playing actually devil's advocate because, first of all, I love fucking meat. Love it. Okay? Infusing meat-flavored smoke into something like cheese, something like mac and cheese, or even the jalapenos that we saw earlier, or even potatoes. I love it. I think it's fucking awesome. I love meat. I love that infused flavor, but what if Dave Rose sometimes wants to say, you know what? I don't want that infused meat flavor. I want something that is crisp, something that's fresh. I want pure vegetables smoked, but I want it without any meat flavoring. You know? That's what I'm getting at, is that like the ability to have what's the word I'm using?
I guess I'm going to have to get some and try it, get some meat and cheese and try it and see if it actually does do that.
But I have to bet money that it does, because again, what you're saying, okay, if we're following your logic here, is that the fish does stain the food that is, infused by its flavoring if it's cooked in the same area. The same thing has to apply with everything else, whether it be,
yes,
like. Go ahead.
But the fish thing is more of a rotten smell or rotten taste. And
but the point, what I'm saying is that
it's like, wow.
But the flavor carries on is the point. The flavor carries on. So whether it be in a smoker where you've got fish, you put something in there like a potato, and it ends up tasting like fish. Okay, so the same thing with fucking a smoker that you're dealing with the beef or pork. That whatever it is that you put in there afterwards, even if it has no other meat, is going to end up reflecting that flavor. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you're looking for a fresh, smoke taste, but that has no meat infusion from there, then you would need a separate, smoker.
I personally feel you wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell a difference. I'd be like, wow, this actually tastes pretty good.
Now, I don't know which direction because we kind of split here. We're talking about smoked foods, but we were going to talk about the type of rubs. But let's just keep on this fucking flow here because we're on the flow. So we're talking about different foods that have been flavored with smoke. But I'm sure that a lot of people don't seem to realize that things like Scotch whiskey is actually smoked over peat fire. And I know that again, Drew. I don't give a fuck if you're in like a shit town shit town. I was gonna say shit town, Ontario, but shit town wherever you are. To not call in to discuss this because again, you are not only a meat connoisseur, but you're also a Scotch connoisseur, and also you apparently have this fetish where you like sexy ladies smoking. I don't judge. Well, I do judge, but I mean, hey, it's not illegal. So, but the point is that Scotch whiskey, for example, which is delicious, does have that aspect that's smoked. So it's not just meats that are smoked. There's tea, Lapsang Souchong tea. There's an Indian buttermilk called Mata. There's smoked beer, and Grazia is apparently one of the more known brands out there, and I can speak German better than neo-Nazi Danny CTE. And Suan Tang, which is a Chinese smoked plum drink, but I'm sure I'll get criticism from Travis TLC, who will say that my Chinese pronunciation was subpar. But again, cheeses. I'm looking at this Wikipedia article. I sent you the list, Nikki, before we started the show. And that was the link that actually worked before we figured out what the fuck was going on with Skype being so fucking stupid. But cheese, I mean, there's like 30 different cheeses that are mentioned there.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go through this,
now.
people. There's 30 different fucking cheeses. You want to see this on fucking, I'll put it, you know what? I'll save you the fucking effort of looking it up. I'm going to put the link in the fucking chat right now. You want to see how many fucking cheeses are fucking listed on this Wikipedia article? There's quite a few, and they're all fucking smoked. And I'm sure that every single one tastes absolutely delicious. So
the one that we could touch on quick is Puli cheese, reportedly the world's most expensive cheese, priced at €1,000 per kilogram. A smoked cheese made from milk of Balkan donkeys from Serbia.
Okay.
Wow.
Then again, they do have that coffee where those, I think it's those Indonesian creatures end up shitting out the coffee beans, and they take those and they process them, and that becomes a high-end coffee. But yeah, people are willing to pay for just about anything that's freakish. But
insane.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. Fish. There's a ton of fish in here as well. Herring was one of the big examples that I mentioned, but there's just so many. So check that out as well. You've got the list there. Even things like smoked eel. Now, smoked mussels, smoked oysters, smoked scallops. Now, this is under, obviously, the seafood. Now, oysters. I can't really say I'm not a fan of mussels, but the way that I've tried them in the past has not made me open to them. But I've experienced throughout my life that, my parents didn't really know how to prepare certain foods. So, as such, I've been ignorant on certain foods. Now, what I'm not ignorant on is smoked oysters. And I love those. Unfortunately, nowadays, all of those come from China. And there ain't no way in hell I'm picking any food that comes from China. But smoked oysters, if you can get a hold of them that are made in North America or Europe, are absolutely delicious. And having them on crackers, bread, even in salads, amazing. Smoked octopus. Now, I'm a big fan of octopus. Big fan.
Never had it.
You gotta... The thing is, though, if they don't make it right, it comes out gummy and stringy like a fucking squirrel.
Oh.
Yes. So it's got to be done right, and it's also got to be slow and low. usually paella, which is a famous dish in Spain. But it's got to be done low and slow so that this stuff actually becomes a lot more edible and a lot less gummy.
Right.
So smoked octopus, but that's the thing though. For example, I can't remember. There's so many different brands out there, but you get the tin, with smoked oysters, mussels, octopus, whatever. Millionaires. What's that one with the sardines or the anchovies? Millionaire's Choice or something like that. You ever seen those?
No.
Okay, well, it's a famous sort of brand when it comes to anchovies and stuff. Those are just in the can, and you just pull them open, and you can just start eating them like that. And
Yeah, my dad likes to eat those. I've never really been into them. I like more fresher fish, I guess.
yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to smoked oysters or
Uh-huh.
smoked octopus, those types of cans are just godsends, and they're just very convenient. You open them up, and if you just want to have a snack, you can literally just eat right out of it. You can add them to salads, you
Right.
can add them to anything, but they're already prepped, and they got that beautiful, this delicious smoky flavor that really, because a lot of the times they're also in oil, so everything's infused, and it's delicious.
Hmm. Something new to me.
Simone says Gabriel Rodriguez in the chat. Derailed says smoked water for ice cubes to put in your whiskey. You're gonna have to teach me that recipe because I certainly don't know how to smoke water. Latino Heat says meat and wood would be both infused into the cheese. That's true. Rodriguez says smoked Gouda cheese is awesome. Yes, smoked Gouda is good, but Fontina, again, this stuff that I found from this Catholic abbey in Quebec, where these monks basically make cheese. Oh my God, I'd be willing to walk to Quebec just to have more of that cheese. It's that fucking good. Now, let's get on to something that you can brief us on. Rubs. Whether it be dry rubs, whether it be wet rubs, perhaps some recipes or even the most disdained of your opinions when it comes to liquid smoke. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from the pitmaster himself, Nicky J, when he discusses with us about rubs.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot of it's going to have to go on your personal preference, especially and like what you like to do. I mean, it depends on if you're doing it commercially or just yourself. Like if you're uh, doing like a catering event or having a bunch of people over, it's probably good to like have at least a couple of racks of ribs, but do each one of them a little differently. Maybe like start off with like a spicy, and then like a mild, or more of like a lemony, or honestly, however you want to do it, however you want to mix it through. There's a lot of good companies out there that make rubs already, but a lot of them you can make up yourself. You can, just for example of one right now that I'm thinking of, you could take some mustard powder. You could take some a good decent amount of brown sugar, some black pepper, a little bit of seasoned salt, and mix all that around, and squirt in a couple of I don't know, maybe a couple tablespoons of um, barbecue sauce, and mix that around in there, and you can kind of make a jelly out of it, and then you spread that across on your ribs. Yeah. No, I know one guy that he'll do a dry rub on one rack, and then the other rack he'll wait till like 2 hours before it's done, and then he'll put that jelly on there, and then that will harden, and you'll get a nice glaze on there for sure.
Interesting.
The other thing is, they have a lot of different poultry ribs, or poultry rubs out for doing chicken. There's a lot of different kinds of what's the other stuff you could even do. A lot of different glaze sauces that you can do, and what that is basically doing is using a brush and wiping that on your meat periodically. Or you could just do wet, which is basically put barbecue sauce right to it the entire time. A lot of it is going to have to be on personal preference, though, Dave. It's going to have to go off of like what you want, like what you're looking for in a taste that day. Shoot, I know people that just throw some seasoned salt on it. They don't add a lemon powder, or garlic salt, or maybe some brown sugar, sea salt, or all that. They just throw some seasoned salt on it and rub it down and throw it in the smoker.
Now, do you usually make your own, or do you just buy something that's prepackaged and just use that?
We did both. We've been to a lot of stores where we were like, "Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, we'll try that." But honestly, we've always went back. We've always went back to this rib rub that she's made up. I don't know why.
So she
We've
made
just
it.
always
She made it herself.
basically, yeah, I came up with it.
Nice.
It was it was a recipe that she found that had a whole bunch of stuff in it, but we kept critiquing.
She adapted
critiquing
it to her own use. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
basically.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it's like I said, don't be afraid. Honestly, don't be afraid to like buy certain spices in the aisle at the grocery store. They even at Walmart and whatnot, or wherever you shop, whatever the local is, they're gonna even have rib rub there. I know Weber and like Kingsford, they sell it. Read the bottle on those. If you read the bottle and what's on it, you can get a sense of what you need to make your own rub. Like what's in this? They might have cayenne pepper in this, but over in this one they don't have this.
Yeah, but I have to
yeah.
agree with you. Is that I personally I do like. Look, it's great to have great flavoring, but the fact is, first of all, you're buying something at an excessive amount because you could put this together yourself if you bought all in bulk for a lot less.
Yeah.
Second, you have no control over the ingredients or anything, and a lot of the stuff has artificial whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So by making your own rub, you have more control over that, and
Right.
I just think that more importantly, is like you said, is don't be afraid. It's like you got a whole rack of ribs. Okay, well, guess what? You can cut it into 3, and you can try different rubs, dry rubs,
Yes.
on each different section. And yeah, you might get 3 ribs on each section, so 9 in total. But you get to try and experiment on different flavorings that you're trying here.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what we That's exactly what we did. I do that with chicken a lot too. Just because they're like when I do bone chicken, that's basically all I do. I never would do boneless in the
So
smoker.
do you
That's weird.
do you do entire chickens as well?
I haven't yet. It's something that I want to get. That I was looking at getting, but basically I've only been doing like legs and thighs right now.
Now, what I've seen is you can actually do, how they have the beer can chicken?
Yeah.
You can do that through a smoker.
Yes. Yeah, you can do that.
So, yeah, you want to talk any more about rubs?
What else is there really? There's a lot of the one thing I didn't really touch on a lot. I mean, it's not it's in the category is barbecue sauce. A lot of people on the barbecue sauce process. A lot of people wait till like the last hour to wipe it on. I usually wait till I'm halfway through smoking, uh, and then I'll start putting it on because I kind of like the way some of the barbecue sauce tastes on it, and especially when it gets a nice crusty glaze on there, and you just keep
Do
applying
you
it and
make your
applying
own
it
or
and
you buy
applying
it?
it. I buy it. I use this brand called KC Masterpiece. It's a really good tasting barbecue sauce. Um, Very, very good sauce. Very good sauce. Very affordable. No, it's not even overpriced or anything. It'd be
Okay.
like buying like a Sweet Baby Ray's or whatever you call it, but just a different brand.
Because okay, when it comes to barbecue sauce, I find it a personal insult to me. I mean, because I just don't
Well,
think that there's a necessity when it comes to needing sauce. If it was prepared
you
right, if it's
can.
the proper cut, it's not gonna need any further moisture.
Well, that's where you can make your own. You could, and another thing too. Um, this is where it comes into play again is the liquid smoke. Uh, you do want to add a little bit of that to your barbecue sauce also. But I've never thought about making my own. Making barbecue sauce. I
It's not
imagine
that
it's like
difficult. It's not that difficult at all. I just don't see a reason why to
tomato
add,
paste.
this because again, like a lot of the times, this stuff, these barbecue sauces were meant to cover up like aging, meat,
Right.
and it's not because of it's just trying to make a shitty thing flavorful. That's all it is, and there's so much sugar that goes into fucking barbecue sauces. I don't know if people even know how much sugar goes into a barbecue sauce, but that's another reason why it's semi sweet. There's tons of sugar in that shit.
I understand. It's just another way of putting. I mean, uh, smoking.
Yeah,
People put
yeah, but
sauce
I
on it.
mean, I think you can accomplish that very well with just dry rubs and put it in a smoker
Oh,
and stuff.
dude, I know one guy. He doesn't even put anything on his meat. He just fucking puts it in there.
Now, let me ask you. I know that some people marinate their meat, like
Yeah.
with teriyaki sauce, for example.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been a fan of teriyaki sauce personally, but what do you think about that? Marinating your meats prior, whether it be with teriyaki or something else. What do you think about doing so prior to smoking meats?
I don't have a problem with it. I do a lot with chicken.
Oh, but okay, with what though? What are you marinating them with? Marinating
Last
them
uh,
with.
last I'm not even joking. I saw this recipe where a guy used fruit punch Gatorade, and I tried some of it.
Now that's very Walmart American of you, but how did it turn out?
Walmart.
Yo,
Very good,
don't
actually.
fucking pull my chain. You know exactly what that means. But how did
Very
it
good,
turn out?
actually. Good. I was blown away. It
Like
tasted.
a visit to Disneyland where everything is fucking fake
It
food.
wasn't sweet. It wasn't fruity or anything.
Ugh.
It just had a little different of a tangy taste. The other thing is usually when I do chicken, not every time, but I marinate it in Italian dressing and smoke it.
It,
Um,
okay, well, what do you mean by Italian dressing?
uh, like um, for like salad,
Well,
like
break it down
salad
for us.
dressing.
Let's just hear the fucking ingredients, because I mean, Italian dressing could literally be anything. But I mean, shit,
Oh,
olive oil
oh,
could be Italian dressing.
let me It's
Gotta
basically
look up the recipe.
yeah, because I don't know.
I don't remember. The woman made it for me.
What's this? Give me 1 sec. It's basically everybody probably knows what it is. You can get it at the grocery store. It's basically got finest herbs and spices. Where the fuck is it?
Ladies
Ingredients.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the one, the only, the Michelin starred star himself, the one, the only, Gabe Rodriguez, who somehow dropped out of the call while I was introducing him.
Darn.
Damn it. That was a good intro.
It says vinegar, water, blend of vegetable oils, sugar, salt, garlic,
Take two,
red
ladies
bell
and gentlemen.
peppers.
Sorry, we got to interrupt you because
No,
we
you're
got
fine, you're
Gabe
fine.
Rodriguez.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Not too bad. How are you
Great.
doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Just doing paperwork, catching up on everything right now.
Hopefully, we're
putting
giving
some
you a
food
little
orders in.
entertainment for the night.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to call to say, hey guys, what's up? And things like that. So just wanted to say hi. And I've been, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just been really busy. Sorry.
What,
Have a lot
what are your
going on.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on the smoking? I mean, you are an expert
Oh
on this
man,
sort of
dude,
thing.
I love smoking the meats, man. And
So what do you
everything
use?
else, and,
Break it down for us. Okay, you running your shit. What are you using when
Yeah.
it comes to smokers? What are you controlling? Like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm controlling the heat. You know what I mean? Inside the smoker. So, I mean, Weber's are pretty good too, and those Charbros are pretty good as well. So, I mean, and then the big green eggs pretty good too. So, I mean, you can do all that in the smoker. But I love doing wood chips too. So, you know, in the smoker. So, I mean, it's all good.
But what are you doing these days? Like, as in, like, do you have a preferred method? Is there something like? Do you
No,
have certain types of smokers that you're using? How many do you have?
Well, right now in the restaurant, I got about 3 smokers right now, and they're pretty good. They're called Onslaughts, like Onslaught smokers, and there's probably about 2 or 3 smokers inside of a big old grill. You know what I mean? So it's a grill, and then the kitchen, you know, inside there's like a grill where the grill area is. There's like smokers on the low. You know what low boys are on the bottom? They're like low boys on the bottom, like little mini gas chambers in there, and so
Okay.
we just stuff them all in there in the char broiler, and then we smoke them. We smoke our meats on the bottom.
How long?
Preserves heat. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
No, but how long?
Oh, dude, man, I'm talking about smoking. I would say about 10 hours, low and slow.
And you're doing all sorts of meat at this point.
Yeah, all sorts of meat.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's all different. You know what I mean? Because you have your fish. I mean, you know, you have your meat, you have your fish, you have everything in the restaurant. You know, so you're cooking at different temperatures.
So what do
You know
you?
what I mean? All your meats.
What do you? How do you respond to what Nikki's saying about the fish and stuff? Like, do you have separate smokers for different types of meats?
Yeah. We have separate smokers for different meats. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna do, like, say if you have like brisket smoking, you know, then you have pork together, it's gonna have a weird taste to it. So you want to put all your briskets with your briskets, your pork with your pork. If you have skate, fish, you know, your pork belly, you have bronzini, you have all that in all different temperatures. You know what I mean? So and if you put all of it together, it's definitely gonna taste different. And because it's not all gonna come out. You know what I mean? It's just gonna taste different. So you know what I mean? So I definitely put my chicken with my chicken, my beef, my pork, all of it together. My fish with my fish too as well. So you're definitely gonna have different temperatures as well because everything cooks differently.
Sounds intelligent and it sounds logical too. That's what I was always, thinking about.
Yeah, but I mean, Nikki J, man, you're awesome. I like the fact that you're smoking, and I like the community. I call cooking. I mean, to me, it's just the oldest. You know what I mean? It's the oldest job, pretty much. You know what I mean?
second oldest. The oldest is prostitution. Let's not forget.
Yeah, the oldest is the whores. So,
Yeah, but somebody's
and
got to
things
feed
like
them,
that.
right? And got to feed the Johns as soon after when they're fucking, they need their
that's what I'm
energy.
talking about. Yeah, somebody has to feed the cows. You know what I mean? So, and things like that. But yeah, man. I mean, Nikki J, you're awesome, man. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Keep smoking and things like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right. Well, I will call y'all. I will talk to you later, guys. Sorry, I just came on board.
No,
just
man.
to say hi.
Much
I gotta get
appreciated.
back to
Always
doing
love
the
when you
boring
call
ass
in, man.
paperwork. Yeah, dude. Hey, my girl wants to say hi. Vanna, hold on.
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Hola, Vanna. ¿Todo bien? ¿Cómo vos?
Oh, yo estoy bien. Muchas gracias.
Oh, buenísimo.
Well, we'll talk to you soon, Dave.
Love you guys. Thanks again.
All right. Love you. Bye, Nikki J. Bye,
See you,
Dave. Have a
man.
good one, guys. All right. Take it easy. All right. Bye.
There goes the community's one and only Michelin-starred chef. And he is extremely knowledgeable. And I always love getting him in on a call. So, again, thanks to you and to your lovely lady for, sharing your time with us here today. So, we're going to move on to the final aspect here of the show is preparation. So obviously we saw the rubs and so forth, but we saw in your video the preparation of getting the what's called the silver skin off the back of, well, it depends on, culture and stuff, but silver skin is what I'm knowledgeable with. But it's the white skin on the back of it's the membrane on the back of a rack of ribs. Now, I saw, I believe, your lady remove it, I should say, from that rack of ribs. But I've seen also that apparently paper towel is actually really good for getting that stuff off because it creates sort of like it creates enough friction that it's not going to slip out of your hands as you try to pull it off, and it allows you to actually pull the entire thing off in one peel. You seen that already?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
It's an amazing fucking little life hack. And when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, that's how they fucking get it off. Because I've always had problems pulling that shit off. And, unfortunately, sometimes, as we did kind of see in your videos, that it kind of wrecks up the meat as well. And it is hard to fucking, do. But, like, the strategies I saw by utilizing a simple paper towel allow enough friction and enough hold to be secured on that membrane to pull it right the fuck off and not damage the meat at all. I'll send you some videos.
I'm gonna have to do that next time.
Well, I'll send you videos before you attempt to do it, just so that you can see that I'm not huffing and puffing smoke. But
yeah, because usually I can when we
it slips out of your hand.
when we have like the different usually when we have like the other kind of ribs or like the baby back or whatever, is if I slit like the side of it, I can it literally just pulls right with it. But
Really?
next time I do that, I'm gonna do that with the paper towel and try
I
it.
can't afford baby back ribs all the time, so the side ribs that I get certainly provide that challenge when it comes to pulling off that membrane. But
I got you.
yeah, that paper towel strategy just seems to work so well for so many different people that people at least should look into that to see whether or not
Right.
it's something that works for them. Because again, like that rack of ribs that you showed, man, oh god damn, was that beautiful.
I'll probably put those in probably like 6 a.m. And
how long will they take?
I'll probably take it till probably like 4:30, 5.
So just in time for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, one thing, Nikki wanted me to tell.
Nikki, that's you.
Yeah, my girlfriend's name's Nikki too, actually.
Oh shit, 2 Nickies.
She said you should let him know too, also, that to incorporate a lot of brown sugar into their homemade rub. It's a natural tenderizer, a flavor enhancer, and it helps with browning and crust formation. And she said it also helps with the bitterness.
I've noticed that too. Yes, brown sugar is good with dry rubs. Cane sugar is even better. Like the more natural stuff that you can
cane
go,
sugar.
it's obviously better, especially if it's more grainy, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the grainy stuff actually causes the bark, which is the crust, the proper term for those non-cures out there is the crusty stuff on the outside. That's called the bark. And to acquire that, yes, you need a nice, good dry rub, which very often than not does include sugar. Now, I did rail on the previous wet rubs, but there's a huge difference between the two. There's a limitation as that you can utilize when it comes to the sugar in your dry rub. You don't need a lot, and more importantly is that the sugar that's being injected into barbecue sauces usually is of a what's it called? The corn syrup type sugar. So it's a fake sugar as it is. It's a processed sugar. So it's not obviously genuine. Now, if you were to say, for example, Nikki, you were to take sugar, brown, cane sugar, and you were to boil it up, and you were to mix that with, say tomato reduction, maybe some molasses reduction, salt, pepper, all this, other stuff, you would actually get your own fucking barbecue sauce, your own unique but also natural barbecue sauce. And then from there, you can, sky's the limit. Ooh, yeah, sky's the limit. So nothing's really stopping us from making our own sauces. And in fact, I always encourage that, not just from dry rubs, but wet rubs. Don't just go out and buy a fucking simple Kraft or fucking other, prepackaged barbecue sauce. Make your own. Make it you.
Exactly.
Not literally.
That's what you need to do. No, yeah, I just don't want people to be afraid of trying new things, especially working with it, because we've went through so many different things. I've given away so much meat. We didn't think this tasted good, and other people thought it tasted good. You just gotta keep working at it. It's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, that is the way. Basically, the only way to know is to try. And yeah, sometimes the dish won't come out the way that you want. It's just the way it is. But
and another thing I used to do too is when I try new things, I would take it to work with me and take a little bite and actually get people's opinions on it to be like, is this me or is this actually taste good?
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's a smart man because he's bribing his coworkers. So.
Well, it's just I want to make sure, I got.
Yeah, that's a good cover story, and I totally agree with it. But I mean, let's just be honest, though. This great brownie points at work, and I would totally condone it. I would agree with it. I've done the same thing. Shit. In fact, I'll tell a just quick side story. I may have mentioned this in the past, but I left a job, and I went back with a cake that I baked. And I was giving it to all my former coworkers. And when the management came around, I'm like, oh, can we have a cake? I'm like, no, it's only for those that actually work here. I fucking just straight up fucking insulted all of them there. It was a beautiful, beautiful sight. But yeah, let's move back to smoking and barbecuing.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I am that way. But again, management feels upwards. But yeah, before we move on to my thoughts on that sort of thing, any final words? I think we've covered obviously quite a lot when it came to grilling and smoking and preparation of meats.
I had to say some final words.
Yes, please.
Get out and buy a smoker. Summer is coming up. You're gonna be doing stuff outside.
What prices are people looking at? If someone wants to go out and get a basic smoker, what's it going to cost them?
Anywhere from the smoker itself, if I had to guess, anywhere from $200 to $250, and then plus the wood chips.
And you'd be buying this typically from where?
Honestly, any hardware stores. Home Depot's got them. Even your Walmarts, your basic big grocery store chains. A lot of hardware stores actually are direct sellers from the company. Like there's a
Yep.
hardware store a town over. They're actually a licensed Traeger brand dealer. Like they act like all their warranties and stuff can go through there. You can get parts from them, etc. So, but yeah, you can find them virtually anywhere, and you can order them online. So
I'm
don't be
glad
afraid to go out and do it.
Sorry?
Don't be afraid to go and do it. And if you are thinking about doing it, check out meat prices. Keep checking out those meat prices.
Oh, you know what I wanted to cover, but we didn't even touch on it, is jerky.
Oh yeah, I've never did that.
Jerky, when it comes to either a dehydrator or
Yeah.
a straight up smoker, you can get the shittiest cut of meat. And in my opinion, that's eye of, was it eye of rib? No,
Eye of rib.
no, I can't remember the cut. It's just terrible. Regardless, is that you can take the shittiest amount of meats, you can marinate them, including in this teriyaki sauce. But this works. This works. You marinate them, you get them infused with flavor, you chop them up nice. Well, actually, you should have chopped them up previous. Sorry, skip the point there. But chop them up nice into nice little strips. Soak
Right.
them, marinate them, dehydrate them, or because we're talking about smoking, smoke them, low and slow.
What
Now-
would you smoke? What would you marinate them in?
Well, like I just said, teriyaki sauce.
Oh, teriyaki. Okay, I didn't hear you say teriyaki. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering too, because I was actually thinking teriyaki would be good.
Well,
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
That's one thing. But again, you could literally just put them in there, maybe even just simply soaked with olive oil. But
True.
your wood chips would infuse that flavor. So you don't need to have teriyaki when you can have, a combination of wood chips that will, somewhat emulate that. But the marinating aspect that people need to understand is also that it helps break down the fibers of the meat, helps infuse flavor into the meat, and helps it absorb flavor from the outside, including through smoking. But jerky, even dry jerky with no flavoring, still is great. And, on top of that, you can then flavor it afterwards. If you wanted to, you could easily, powder it
True.
with some sort of, I don't know.
It's like they do with pepper
Powdery.
jerky. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do just about anything. But that's the best part about smoking is that because of the capacity that you have when it comes to a smoker, right? Even small smokers still have a lot of capacity. So if you do this and you want to stack up, say there's a huge sale on meat. Say you got a friend that's a farmer that has to get rid of meat. You take this stuff, you could marinate it, or you could just simply just smoke it. Then you save it, and then you've got it for the future. You can have this as snacks. For work, you could have this as basically something in your pantry for emergencies. You could have this as something that you eat on a regular basis for dinner. The sky's the limit.
Exactly. That's something I'm gonna have to try and get into.
Yeah, I've got a dehydrator, and
Oh, you do?
Yep, it's not.
Do you-
It's not an industrial size one. It's more like
Right.
made on the seen on TV type ones.
What I mean, we don't have to really nail right into it, but what's some of the stuff you mostly do on it? Like fruit and
Fruits,
like cut
yeah,
up stuff?
dehydrated fruits are the best thing because then you can just have snacks. You just have a bunch of them dried up, a bunch of apple chips, for example, and you can just fucking plow those away, no problem.
So if you do like an orange, to bring it back to life, do you like add a little
It's a-
water or you just eat it dry?
usually dry. I mean, like with if you do like apple, sorry, if you do orange or lime or lemon, it becomes like a dry,
Lemon drop.
hard candy sort of thing. Like
I see.
so, it takes on a different sort of form, but still the flavor is sort of there. So it's just like dried
Right.
fruit. Again, it's just dried fruit.
Huh. I've always seen them, and I've always been because I was like, oh, I wonder, like, after, like, whenever you want to eat it again, like, do you still eat it dry, or do you, like, bring it back to life with
Well,
like a
you
little
can.
water?
That's the
or-
thing, though. You can, if you want.
Right.
This is first of all, sorry, smoking some weed. Um, Jesus, Louise, what the fuck? Dehydrated berries of any sort: strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Dehydrate them. Delicious on their own.
Huh.
Add them to hot cereal.
Ooh.
Well, or to, dry cereal,
And- yeah.
oats or whatever. Add the hot water. They instantly become hydrated again. They're big, they're juicy, and they're delicious. So, yes,
Yeah.
there are opportunities where you can utilize that rehydrating aspect. Since you've dehydrated them, you add some hot water, and that stuff just absorbs that water and becomes, it returns to its, similar nature.
Yeah, that sounds really good. We might have to look into one of those. Getting a dehydrator.
And there's also obviously, I think it should just, to me, in my opinion, there's certain things that just need to go together. A grill, a smoker. Yeah, this sounds like a fucking, a list of things that you need to accomplish in a video game. But grill, smoker, dehydrator, and one of these vacuum sealers. You ever seen the vacuum sealers where it's just like,
Yeah. I've used it for deer meat and whatnot. Yeah.
dude, everything I just explained, it just works out perfectly. I mean,
Right.
you smoke it, for example, you dehydrate it, and then you fucking seal it, and then put it in the fridge, and then now you've got food for whenever.
Right.
It's like those tools, those four tools, I think really come. Well, obviously you're going to need a freezer as well, but those tools will definitely help you if you want to, last it out, sort of thing. Especially if it's a winter, if there's a supply shortage, anything like that. Is that if you're able to utilize those tools to, pack up enough resources, and hold them. You can survive a long time.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of this, I mean, it goes into like primitive stuff, survival, making your food last. You know what? We literally just primitive, sure. Yeah, honestly, Dave, with that being said, we literally just did a full circle.
Yep, we got right back to our primitive nature, and again, there's nothing more natural than fire to man. We learned this hundreds of thousands of years ago, and possibly more. The smell of burnt wood should entice any man. Should give him a nice chub. Okay, this is fact. Okay, if it doesn't give you a chub, you've been living too much in a city, and you need to get out. But the smell of burnt wood is primeval and connects to us in the most base level. And smoking meats is just a natural continuation of that. So, yes, it truly is built into us.
Yep.
So, I think we've covered quite a lot here. We've been going on for 2 hours and 28 minutes, almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. So a nice good number. I mean, Too Many Chefs never usually goes, too long. unlike some of my other shows. But I think we've done a good job, both explaining the art that is smoking, its primitive connection to us, but also getting experience from yourself in regards to everything when it comes to smoking meats. So I very much appreciate your attendance here. I know it was a challenge for us to sort of coordinate to get this to come out. I know a lot of people out there were apparently considering or saying that apparently I can't do anything other than drama because I'm not doing any other shows. But then again, I don't waste time making a shitty show, and I want to do it right. So
Well,
that's
yeah,
why I
it's
have
not
to take some time.
exactly. It's not like we're just gonna be like, "Hey, you want to talk about smoking tonight?" Sure, Dave. Yeah. And then we just get on here and just start talking about.
Whoa,
it. So,
dude, are you
no.
talking about smoking the weeds, dude? Yeah, whoa. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But I guess
mean,
this
people
show's
are
a
gonna
little too
watch
mature
this.
for people. What's that?
I mean, people are going to watch this. I mean, you have it tagged at smoking meat. I mean, anybody that looks up smoking meat is going to come across this video, maybe. So, if we can help out somebody, to get smoking, I mean, hey, more power to them.
Well, I definitely got some help and some guidance when it came to your advice as well, and I believe that many others as well in the chat did as well, because
sir.
they also showed that. But your experience is definitely appreciated, and just your attendance today was very much appreciated. So
I appreciate you having me on today, Dave. It was a lot of fun, and we should, we'll have to do some kind of quick update thing maybe soon, because when I smoke those ribs that I showed tonight, I'll do a video of taking them out and putting them in and taking them out or whatnot.
maybe I'm
and what
gonna
I
have to
do,
do
so.
a video like a reveal or something where I'm watching the ribs, and it's like me watching a porno where I'm just like, oh yeah,
Right.
just show that bone, oh yeah, just
Show
break that flesh apart, yeah, oh.
You
Hey,
should just
you never
fall
know.
off the bone, though.
Well, there is a Reddit group called Food Porn, right? So
Oh,
you never know.
I'm more of a 4chan guy, but that's another story. Thanks for having me on, Dave. I really appreciate it.
No, but I appreciate you being on. We're going to wrap up the show right now. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. I am Devious Dave Rose, joined by the one and only Nikki J. Smoke Master confirmed. And on that note, we shall see you next time.